Hello, welcome, and we're doing something a little different today. So this one is about Stuart Semple and Anish Kapoor and their rivalry for the ages. This was requested by a patron. So Tom, here I go. I'm doing this video just for you. And this is not the kind of video I usually do, but we'll see how it goes. Basically, Tom wanted to know about the rivalry between Anish Kapoor and Stuart Semple, both British artists. Now, if you've never heard of Anish Kapoor, yes, you have. He is the architect, the mind behind the Bean here in Chicago. Apparently called Cloudgate for real, but no one calls it that. Yeah, and apparently he doesn't really mind. Everyone was saying for a really long time that he hated it being called the Bean because it was called Cloudgate and he found it diminutive and insulting. But I found an article in 2017 and he said, yeah, no, it's fine. So I don't know. Maybe originally he was annoyed and he found it juvenile, but it's grown on him. The Bean is fun. Apparently there's a man in there. Who knew? But we're not talking about the Bean today. The only reason I really bring it up is because just to prove, yes, you know who Anish Kapoor is, and he's one of the main characters in this saga, but also because the Bean itself is a technological marvel. They had to create like new technologies in order just to make it work, in order to make it as reflective as it is, in order to make it in the shape that it is, in order to make it so seamless. It was a lot of effort had to go into that. And again, Anish Kapoor is an artist who likes to work with new technologies whenever he can. That brings us to the topic of the day, Vantablack. Now, Vantablack is a carbon fiber based black, and it was billed as the blackest black. It was released by Surrey Nanosystems in 2014, and it was promoted as the blackest black in the world. It absorbs 99.965% of visible light, which makes whatever it's painted on look like fully flat or just like really void-esque. And it was really, really cool. People were really excited to be able to use it. And granted, it wasn't made for artists necessarily. It was made to be used by the military. I found an article saying it was going to be used for stealth jets and things of that nature. But in 2016, Anish Kapoor made a deal with Surrey Nanosystems in which he bought the exclusive rights for Vantablack as an art material specifically. And people were pissed. They were really, really mad about this because they're like, it's a color. We're artists. We should all be allowed to use this color. That's absolutely crazy that you're gatekeeping Vantablack like this. We'd all really like to use it. So that is where Stuart Semple comes in. He is another British artist. And he was like, that's just not fair. He was like, I want to be able to use this color. So what he did in order to sort of protest Anish Kapoor, blocking anybody else from using Vantablack, he created a pigment called Pinkest Pink. He was releasing it online, and there was only one caveat. At the end, when you were checking out, you had to basically legally swear. You had to click a little box saying, by adding this product to your cart to confirm you are not Anish Kapoor, you are in no way affiliated to Anish Kapoor, you are not purchasing this item on behalf of Anish Kapoor or an associate of Anish Kapoor. To the best of your knowledge, information, and belief, this paint will not make its way into the hands of Anish Kapoor. And anybody who wanted to buy it had to click the little check mark that said you're not going to give this to Anish. And it kind of became a viral sensation. He was doing this initially as a protest, not necessarily to make money, but people bought it. Also, it was like £4, the pigment itself was pretty cheap. So suddenly everyone wanted this pinkest pink, including Anish Kapoor. He got his hands on a jar of this pigment. The general theory is that he got his representative in London, Leeson Gallery, violate that terms of that very simple request that Anish Kapoor not get a hand on the paint. And, well, like I said, he got his hands on it. He sent his gallery over to get it for him. And then he posted on Instagram, lovely picture of him with his middle finger dipped in the paint. Like classy effing move, Anish Kapoor. People were once again very angry with him about this little stunt because it's just so rude. It's like people started using the hashtag release the black or share the black, and they were not pleased. They were not pleased by this childishness. And again, people kind of went back to Stewart in protest. So he ended up starting to create a lot of other pigments. So he created like the glitteriest glitter, which was actually just a bunch of shaved up glass, like really, really like glass chopped up really, really fine. And the idea of it was that you'd be able to like put it on your painting, but it was so clear that you'd still be able to see all of your paint underneath it. But this pigment, this glitter would add a shine to it without taking away from the color of the art. Really cool. Also, he made it out of glass. Possibly so Anish Kapoor cannot stick his finger back in that one too. And everything he has sold, everything Stewart has sold since then, since again, 2016 has that rejoinder, that like legal reader that's like, yeah, you can buy this as long as you're promising me that you're not going to give it to Anish Kapoor in any kind of way on purpose. Like, that's the only rule, not giving it to Anish Kapoor. So it kind of spiraled, and it kept spiraling. And again, mostly after that, Anish Kapoor apparently did threaten to sue. He told BuzzFeed that he was going to sue Semple, but he never told Semple about this. The lawsuit never actually came to fruition. So honestly, I am not entirely sure how much of it is accurate. I couldn't find anything about like from Kapoor or his people about the lawsuit. It was just like what BuzzFeed said and what they told Stewart. What they said that BuzzFeed told Stewart that Anish told them that he was going to sue Semple. Although I did look into this, and apparently the only person who's broken any laws potentially is Anish Kapoor himself, because he like made somebody get him this this pink that they had to say they weren't going to give it to him. They like signed a document that said they weren't going to give it to him, and they did it anyway. So potentially the only person who's broken any laws around here is Anish Kapoor himself. You know, let's go. But the point is, Semple kept making these pigments. Every single thing he did, he had the legal reader on there that was like, nope, you can't give this to Anish. For a while, that was kind of it. Kapoor did eventually have a gallery show where he used the Vanta Black. And it, it was all right. Semple went. He's like, I kind of wish that he would have done something a little more with it. Something a little cooler, maybe. I mean, if he's the only one who's allowed to use it and this is what he uses it for, he uses it for like a kind of mid-gallery show and watches. Yeah. They used the Vanta Black on luxury watches. Yay! And then, MIT managed to develop a pigment that's even blacker than Vanta Black. And actually, so did Stuart Semple. And he was... So this part made me laugh. He developed a pigment that was darker than Vanta Black. His comment was it was crowdsourced. It was going to be affordable, completely safe, and smell like cherries. Just find that rather lovely. Now, Vanta Black, which no one can use except for Anish Kapoor, is highly toxic, potentially explosive. It needs to be applied in a very special laboratory and sealed properly. It can't be moved across borders, and it can reach up to 300 degrees Celsius if you're not extremely careful. And it costs like thousands of dollars. Now, it doesn't end there, because of course it doesn't. Anish Kapoor hasn't really continued his trolling of Stewart in the same way. As I think maybe after the backlash he got for the pinkest pink incident, he kind of backed off. But that doesn't mean that Stewart backed off. The man in 2024 changed his name to Anish Kapoor. Like, the man is taking trolling to a new level, honestly. Somebody did point out, they were like, hey, does that mean you can't use your own pigments anymore? And his response to that was basically, oh, you know what? Good point. I think I'm still good because it only says you can't sell it to him. It doesn't say that, I can still make them. I can still make them myself. And, he might change his name back. I'm not really sure what his plan is, but he is like still going by Anish Kapoor as far as I can tell in the year of our Lord 2025. It's just, and Vantablack is still only allowed to be used by Anish Kapoor. But again, they've made multiple blacks at this point, which are darker, which are richer. And so it seems like it's all of them are cheaper. Oh, MIT, like I said, MIT developed one, and they said the project can also be interpreted as a statement against British artist Anish Kapoor's purchase of exclusive rights to a formula of carbon nanotubes as material for artworks. Strebe and Wardle use a different composition of carbon nanotubes, which will be available for any artist to use. It's like, when you even have the science bros coming after you, bro, like, come on now. Apparently, it is more or less in good fun these days, though. Anish Kapoor apparently finds it funny. Again, according to Stuart Semple, Anish Kapoor finds it funny. No harm done. It's just a truly bizarre art experience wherein one artist bought the exclusive rights to a very specific color. The rest of the art world was very upset by it and another man started to create colors that the first guy can't use. Anybody else in the world can use them, but not him, because he stole Vantablack first. And then it culminates with Stuart Semple changing his name to that of his nemesis. Happy 2025, y'all. It's just a wild time. Just a wild, wild time. And I just find it fun. And I've been following this story since its inception. I've been enjoying it as it's gone on. It was really fun at first, when it was first really hitting the news. Well, the news that I was watching in 2016. And so it's been a joy. It's been fun to check in on it every so often. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully it's what you wanted. And maybe if you want me to do more actual stuff like this, I will. We'll see. No promises, no timelines. But this was interesting. Got to do some research, found some cool pictures, learned an extra thing or two that I didn't know before. So thanks for watching. See you next time.